For most of history, the world was vast beyond imagination. Oceans were barriers, not highways. Travel was slow and trade was local. Entire civilizations rose and fell without ever knowing of each other's existence. But then came the sail. A simple yet revolutionary invention that let humans harness the wind, break free from their geographic limits, and reshape the course of history. But how exactly did the sail do this? The answer isn't just in individual moments of discovery or conquest, but in the hidden patterns that connected them. By looking at history and triads, three interwoven forces at each stage, we reveal how exploration fueled trade, trade fueled power, and power reshaped societies. These cycles didn't just advance civilization, they defined it. The sail wasn't just an invention, it was a force multiplier that changed everything. From the first great voyages to the rise of global empires, from the exchange of ideas to the dawn of modern industry, its impact can be traced through the patterns of progress. Let's set sail and follow its course. Sail technology revolutionized human mobility, with early civilizations like the Egyptians and Phoenicians using simple square-rigged sails to navigate coastal waters. As shipbuilding advanced, Arab and Chinese sailors introduced lateen or triangular sails, allowing ships to tack against the wind. The combination of these designs gave rise to the powerful caravels of the 15th century. With better navigation skills, such as the use of the magnetic compass, invented in China, and the astrolabe, refined by Islamic scholars, sailors could venture further without hugging the coast. Portuguese explorers like Prince Henry the Navigator sponsored expeditions that led to the rounding of the African Cape, while Christopher Columbus in 1492 and Ferdinand Magellan from 1519 to 1522 proved that vast oceanic voyages were possible. As a result, new lands were discovered, leading to European colonization of the Americas, Africa, and parts of Asia. This expanded the known world, reshaping global demographics and trade routes. With the sail making long-distance voyages more efficient, civilizations from the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean thrived on maritime trade. The Silk Road had already linked east and west over land, but sea routes now became dominant due to their speed and ability to transport bulk goods. The Indian Ocean Trade Network, facilitated by monsoon winds, connected African, Arab, Indian, and Chinese merchants, allowing spices, textiles, and precious metals to flow across continents. The rise of maritime powers like Venice, the Ottoman Empire, and later the Dutch and British East India Companies fueled economic expansion. Entire nations grew wealthy from controlling key sea routes and resources, such as Portugal's monopoly on the spice trade, and Spain's massive influx of silver from the Americas. This newfound wealth led to urbanization and wealth as port cities like Amsterdam, London, and Lisbon became global financial centers. Banking systems, stock markets, and global trade networks emerged, laying the foundation for modern capitalism. As trade and exploration grew, control of the seas became a military necessity. Nations invested in naval power, with Spain, England, and the Netherlands developing powerful fleets. The Spanish Armada in 1588 demonstrated the strength of a naval empire, though it was famously defeated by England, signaling the rise of British maritime dominance. With strong navies, empires secured military dominance, using ships to control sea lanes, transport armies, and conduct naval battles. The British Royal Navy, for instance, played a decisive role in securing colonial holdings in India, the Caribbean, and North America. Likewise, the Ottoman fleet dominated the Mediterranean, while Chinese treasure fleets under Admiral Zheng He in the 15th century projected Ming dynasty influence across the Indian Ocean. This ultimately led to global empire expansion, with European powers carving up the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The ability to control distant territories by sea allowed empires to stretch across the world, reshaping global geopolitics for centuries. The sail didn't just move goods, it moved people and ideas. As trade and exploration expanded, so did trade and travel between civilizations. Arab traders brought Islam to Southeast Asia and Africa, while Buddhist monks traveled with Chinese merchants along the maritime Silk Road. European missionaries spread Christianity across the Americas, Africa, and Asia. This led to the exchange of ideas in philosophy, science, and technology. The Renaissance was fueled by knowledge from the Islamic world transmitted via Mediterranean trade. The Age of Discovery introduced the Americas to European crops and livestock, while also bringing indigenous agricultural techniques such as maize cultivation to Europe. In turn, entire civilizations experienced a transformation of societies. The Columbian Exchange, post-1492, altered diets globally, with crops like potatoes and tomatoes spreading worldwide. However, it also brought diseases that devastated indigenous populations and led to the transatlantic slave trade, a dark chapter in global history. Despite this, the sail connected humanity like never before. By the 18th and 19th centuries, innovation in shipbuilding reached new heights. Clipper ships, with their sleek design and multiple masts, revolutionized speed and efficiency, allowing rapid transport of goods like tea and opium. The steam engine then transformed maritime travel, making ships independent of wind patterns. These innovations drove industrial advancements, as global trade and resource extraction accelerated the Industrial Revolution. Factories needed raw materials like cotton and rubber, leading to the expansion of colonial plantations and trade networks. Steamships and iron-hulled vessels replaced wooden sailing ships, making transoceanic trade faster and more reliable. Today, these advancements have culminated in modern global trade. The principles of maritime commerce, developed through centuries of sailing innovation, continue to shape the world economy. Container ships, oil tankers, and cargo fleets now transport goods worldwide, making globalization possible. The history of the sail reveals that progress is not a straight line, but a series of interconnected cycles, patterns that repeat, evolve, and transform civilization. At every stage, three forces work together in dynamic balance: exploration fueled trade, trade fueled power, and power reshaped societies. This triadic relationship did not just drive the age of sail, it has defined every era of technological advancement. The sail unlocked new frontiers, just as steam engines, railroads, and digital networks have done in later centuries. Each innovation expanded human reach, accelerated economic exchange, and restructured global power, yet always with unintended consequences: prosperity for some, upheaval for others. These patterns remind us that technological revolutions are never neutral. They shape and are shaped by the societies that wield them. Today, as we navigate the currents of modern globalization, automation, and space exploration, we see these same forces at play. The question is not whether progress will continue, but how we will harness it. History shows that those who master new technologies gain influence, but the true measure of progress is not just expansion, but the wisdom to guide it. If the sail taught us anything, it is that every voyage reshapes the world, and that we must chart our course with both ambition and awareness.